What's going on, family? We are back again for another workout. Today we're going to be doing chest, shoulders, and triceps. And you know I love this day because I like to work on my shoulders. Just a little secret I'll let you in on. The reason why I work on shoulders the way that I do is because when wearing a suit jacket or blazer, it really sits right on you when you work on your shoulders. It really helps the suit jacket or the blazer to fit well. So that's one of the things that I work on, among other things. But we're looking forward today to do some shrugs, some flat bench, maybe some chest presses. We're going to get it in. So right here, before I go to the second set of shoulder shrugs, I forgot I was supposed to set up for my overhead shoulder press. And so there it is that we're using 60 pounds there. And we're going to be doing 4 sets, actually 7 sets, I'm sorry, of 12. And if you notice, man, throughout the workout, we're going to be trying to be pretty aggressive with the weight that we choose to use. And this particular series of exercises, I'm going to do what I like to call a pyramid. We're going to go up, and then we're going to come back down with the weight that we used. So we'll go up to 4 plates, and then we'll come back down to 1. So that'll be 7 sets of 12, and 7 sets of 12 with the overhead chest press also. So here we're going to do some bench press with dumbbells. We're going to do 4 sets of 12 starting at 45, and then we're going to go all the way up to 75 pounds. I like this particular workout because what I'm basically trying to do is build up my strength for the Smith machine when I do bench presses. After you take a sabbatical, you take a break, the first thing you'll notice is whether or not you've lost strength, and I have. So I'm trying to get back to the point that I was 6 months ago, and so we're going to put some work in, man. We're going to see what we can do. And then another thing too, you'll notice, man, that in the midst of doing these, I'm taking my time, breathing properly, because here's the thing: you don't want to jump the gun. If you've already done a set, take the necessary rest between sets so that you can keep your form and you can push consistently. That's what that's all about. We're not in the race. We're not trying to compete with anybody. We're just trying to get this weight that we set as a goal. We're trying to get those sets done. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm taking my time with it, making sure that everything is correct, because you, in this particular instance, in all instances where you're working out, you don't want to do anything that could cause you difficulty later. Pulling the muscle or getting injured. We're just back in here, and so we want to make sure that the form is correct so that we can continue to build on what we already have. So here, as I mentioned at the outset, we're going to do 3 sets of the chest press, and we're starting out at 50 pounds. And so we're going to do 3 sets of 12. And I'll be honest with you, man, this is not one of my favorite exercises. It really isn't. You can tell by the look on my face. I'm not enthused about it. I'm not overjoyed, but I understand what chest presses do. And so, like I mentioned, I'm trying to prepare myself to get on the Smith machine bench again. As I mentioned, I had lost some strength, and so we're trying to rebuild it. But this is not one of my favorite exercises. I tell you what, if I could leave it out, I would. But it serves a necessary function, and so I'm all for it. So now, as opposed to the last exercise that I did, the chest press, the Pec Flys may be one of my favorite exercises. I know. Well, besides the shoulder shrug, on chest day, the Pec Flys. I tell you, I'm going to get some Pec Flys in regardless. So what we did, we started off at 120 pounds, and we're going to do 4 sets of 12. I'm being kind of aggressive with the Pec Flys, man, because I want to see a little bit more definition and maybe even some growth. But as I mentioned, that's probably one of my most favorite exercises. But I'll tell you something about the Pec Fly. If you notice, the way that I'm situated, my shoulders are parallel to the bars. Some people say that it should be slightly above where the handles are. Some people say it should be below, but I found that I really get a good burn when I'm parallel to the bar. And then you'll notice too that as I'm going throughout the workout, when I finish a set, I pause right after the 12th rep and allow the tension to build up in my chest, and then I'll release it. I found it to be, something that leads to more definition also. And so, that's me trying to get back into the groove of things. And it looks like it's going to work out for me. I'm going to keep going. We're going to see what happens, man. What's going on, family? Another day down, man. Another day down. Let me get this out of my head. Okay, here we go. Another day down. Like we mentioned, man, all the frustration, difficulties. And this is a stress reliever, right? So I think what I want to talk to you all today about is not reliving past difficulties, right? So I'm bench pressing today, and all of a sudden that just popped to mind. A lot of times, I tell you something. A lot of times, as humans, we have a tendency to only remember the good times, especially when it comes to relationships. A lot of times we look back on things and we say, okay, well, I remember this, I remember that. And usually most of the time it's good things, right? But honestly, it would do us well to remember that there was some difficulties involved. And the reason why I say that is because it had to be something involved in the first place that made you turn away from the situation. It had to be something that was going on that made you leave that situation. And most of the time, generally, when a person leaves a bad situation, they work to make a better situation for themselves. They work to be better as a person. They work to be better when it comes to picking individuals to include in their life. So you're trying to work to a better circumstance, right? So now I think it would be a mistake. I'm saying that right out. I think it would be a mistake to get to that better place that you are looking for. A place where You built your self-esteem back up. You built yourself back up financially. You're doing things that are going to lead you in the right direction. It would be a mistake to reach back in the past and pull something into the present from the past. And I say that because if you left it behind you, then it had to be a reason, once again, why you left it. Do you think that it's going to work out for you now that you're in a better situation when it didn't work for you when you were in the worst one? So you have to keep those things in mind. You have to think about those things, because a lot of times we become creatures of habit. You got that old saying that says it's better the devil that you know than the one that you don't. And that's not always true. Because if you never expose yourself to anything new, if you never try to be better than you are, then you'll never know whether you'll be successful. And when I say success, I don't mean financial success. I mean being able to look back a year from now and say, I've grown as a person tremendously. Whether it's with your physical health, with your finances, with your spirituality, whatever the case may be. Every year that you look back, you should be able to say, I've grown. And a lot of times in the midst of that growing, in the midst of progressing, you outgrow people. The things in your life when you were younger that you wanted to put up with, you're not going to put up with it now. Because you put yourself in a place where the difficulties, the stresses and strains of the past, you don't have to deal with them now. So don't bring them back. Don't reintroduce them. Because what usually happens is you find yourself in a worse position than you were in the past. That's just my thought for this morning, man. Don't bring it back, man. If it's trash. If it's trash and you taking it out to the garbage can, right? Don't go out to the garbage and get it. Don't go back out there. That's not for you. You've used everything that you could use from those particular items, and the rest is refuse. All right, y'all. Like I mentioned, man, we got chest and shoulders and triceps knocked out today, man. I'm feeling pretty good. We got a couple of things to do. So let's get the day started, man. As always, we love you. Peace.